Okay, as we approach the end of the Perakim, I just want to conclude this extremely important Indian that we started talking about on Thursday. And that is, it seems to be three madregas, everybody knows. There's, when it comes to Yiras Shamayim, there's Yiras Ha'onesh, there's Yiras Haroimimus, L'mala Mimenu, there's Ahavas HaShem v'Ahavtas HaShem Alikecha. Pashtus, like, as they say, the Rebbe learned in Cheder, the highest madrega is Ava. Tshuva Me'ira, Tshuva Me'ava. Ava is always, I point out it's hard to know, you forget about how to do it, it's hard to know even what it means. Avas Hashem, Hashem is amorphous. It's, I understand, you could believe in Hashem, you could trust Hashem, you could do all the Yud Gimel Ikrim, you could do all the mitzvahs Hashem, do your duty, but to love Hashem is to imply that we have some type of a hasaga in it. It's not like loving your son. It's some type of hasaga. So that's where we were working on. But it seems that Ava is the highest madrega. Mitzad, just two quick questions. Moshe Rabbeinu says in Sefer Dvarim, Ma Hashem Alikecha shoyel mi'imcha ki'im liyira oisi. What does Hashem want? Except for Yiras Shamayim. So what's the answer to that? Well, he wants Avas Hashem. Always, why is he limiting their their attainability of the higher madrega? Saying, what does Hashem want from you already? You hear the kasha? What about Avas Hashem? It's a higher madrega.
Is there minimally Yiras Hashem and Yiras Shamayim?
I don't know. He doesn't say either one. He says, well, he doesn't say Yiras Shamayim. He says, Ki ma Hashem alikecha shoyel mimcha ki im liyira es Hashem alikecha yira oisai kol yamecha. What are we asking? Now this, the Gemara says, V'chi yira milsa zutrasahi. What, that's so small feet? What do you mean? That's all he asks is yira. So it's not so minimal. Okay, so it needs a little bit of a hezbollah. So let me just take a couple of Rambams, but I want to tell you the Ikar I want to tell you is a Yesod, which will help us get to Shar Daled, because the whole thing is about Lishma. That's the whole story. Parakas. So the Rambam says, the first madrega, ha-mitzvah ha-revis, is the fourth mitzvah in the Torah, according to the Rambam's count. Ha-mitzvah ha-revis he shetzivanu lahamin. Watch the words, you can watch them as well as I can. Ha-mitzvah ha-revis he shetzivanu lahamin yirasai yis'ala uli pachein mimenu. Lahamin yirasai. What does that mean? Lahamin, what is it? Lahamin yirasai. Sefer HaMitzvahs. Mitzvahs essay. Mitzvah HaRevius. HaMitzvah HaRevius he. This is the mitzvah. Shetzivanu. We are commanded laha'amin, like emunah, laha'amin yirasai yis'ala v'uli pachein mimenu. Oh, come on. So lahamin is chazak in Hebrew. He oimein es hadasa. V'haya yadav emunah. Doesn't mean they were strong. So emunah means strength, koach. That's what the word means. Shetzivanu lahamin yirasa. We need to be mechazik our yira. V'loi niyeh kekoifrim, and we shouldn't be like the koifrim hahochim bekari that live casually. Avol nira bias anshai b'chol eis. But you should always be worried that you're going to have an onesh. V'hu amrai, where did I find this mitzvah? I had to go all the way to Parshas V'eschanon. Es Hashem Elokecha Tira. So the Pashat Pshat, says the Rambam, and Es Hashem Elokecha Tira is Yiras Ha-Onesh. On and on, he speaks about it. He says if you don't have Yiras Oynish, you're not Chayav Misa. It's an essay. Hinei Kvar Yispar Sha'amaras Hashem Elokecha Tira Mitzvahs essay. The Rambam that's the Rambam here in Sefer HaMitzvahs. Mitzvah of Yiras Ha'oinish. Can you hear? In the Yesodei HaTorah, the Rambam in the Yad, I didn't realize Sefer HaMitzvahs is here. Yesodei HaTorah, Perak Beis, beginning of the Rambam. Perak Aleph, Perak Beis. So the Rambam, Ha'el, Ha'nichbad, V'Ha'noira. We were talking about God before, right? The Rambam starts off his whole book. Yisoda Yisodis V'Amoida Chachmas, Leida Shiesham, Matsui Rishon, V'Mamsi Kol Animsa. You have to know that there's a HaShem. You need to know that there's a HaShem. You can't just live and say, well, I'm not going to get into that. That's too complicated for me. You need to know. That's part of being Jewish. So it says the Rambam not only need to know, Albatzar, like a philosopher, but Hakel Hanichbad V'Hanoira Hazeh, this God that we're talking about, mitzvah la'ahavai. It's a mitzvah to love him, uliyira mimenu, and to be afraid from him. Shenemar v'yahavta es Hashem Elokecha, that's one pasuk. V'nemar es Hashem Elokecha tira. So we have two operating psukim here. One is es Hashem Elokecha tira, to fear Hashem, which the Rambam himself says in Sefer HaMitzvahs is Yiras HaOynesh. And then there is Ahava v'Yahavta es Hashem Elokecha. Where's the Yiras HaRoimamus? We need a pasuk for that also. Says the Rambam, V'hechi aderech la'ahavasai v'yirasai. What's the derech to have la'ahavasai v'yirasai? B'shashi yisboinein ha'adam b'maisav ubruav. So here he tells us the trick, the derech. That's what we're supposed to do. That how do you get to Ahavas Hashem? Ahavas Hashem. V'hechi aderech la'ahavasai v'yirasai. How do you get to Ava? How do you get to Yira? By the way, the diuk in the Rambam is that the Yira that he's talking about here is a higher thing than Ava. In other words, before he was talking about, don't be a koifer, have Yiras Oynish. Here he's saying, Heicha derech la'avasei v'yirasei. So he says, B'shashi yisboinein ha'adam b'maisav. When you start to think about what Hashem did, Ubruav haniflaim, unbelievable niflais habayra. Just think about any aspect of niflais habayra, anything from the body of a person to the solar system. When you think about the niflais habayra, it's what happens. Hagdolim v'yira mehem chachmasei. V'yira means you see. Mehem chachmasei she'en la erech v'loikates. It's beyond human comprehension. Sof kol sof. All the scientists and all the physicists don't really get it completely. They're just miyad hu oyev. When you think about this, miyad, instantaneously, hu oyev u'mishabeach u'mifayer u'misave taiva gedola leda Hashem hagadol. You will, but that's not ava. You will want to leda, your intellectual curiosity, I presume this means, will be piqued. So if you start thinking about, like how the world works and the whole thing, and as far as we could go, we can't. There's more to go. So then you want to know. At this point, you want to know. I want to know more. If you don't think about it, you don't care. You just live. But if you do think about it, you want to know more. What do they say? Like the human brain. That's right here. That's not up in the solar system. Right here. But the human, you see it, or you don't see it. But the human brain, I was reading someplace, what's understood with all the neuroscientists and everything, what's understood about the human brain, they estimate about 10%. No, but front, court, back, we know a couple things about the brain, but we don't understand ad kedei kach how the brain really works. 10%. 10% is a lot. It's probably gaiva. So he says the first thing is you just want to know. K'may David, and that's what David HaMelech said. Sama nafshi lelikim lekel chai. I'm thirsty to know this. I just want to know it. And as you consider these things and as you think deeply into them, miyad, let's watch this carefully. Hu nirta la'achayra. You're taken aback when you start thinking about, like, whoa, what a world. You're taken aback. V'yarei v'yafached v'yodeya shehu bria ktana. Then you will have fear. Yafached, you'll have pachad. V'yodeya, and you will know shehu bria ketana shfela afela, that how small we really are. We're a dot. Oimed b'das kala ma'uta lifnei tamim deis, how small we are before HaShem. K'may she'amar David, and David spoke about this also, because he says, Ki era shamecha, when I see the Shemai, ma enosh kisis kirenu. What then is man? Ulefi advar ma'ela ani mevar klolim gedolim, says the Rambam, I will be able to explain to you big principles. Mimaisa riboin ha'olamim kedei she'eh pesach l'mevin la'avas HaShem. K'may chachamim b'inyan ava sh'mitoy kach ata makir s'misha amar v'haya ha'olam. So what's interesting here, when he goes on to talk about very deep things and malachim and astronomy things, but he's saying a yesod which is not obviously clear. What he's saying is, apparently he has the same question we have. You know, what's Ava? How do you get to Ava? How do you get to Yira? And he sort of mixes them in together. I believe there's a subtle stira, because here he talks Yira from the pasuk as HaShem Elokecha Tirah, and he's talking about a very high level of Yira, something like Ava. And here he talks about Yira of Yira Soinish. Don't be a boor. Just be don't walk around Bekeri. Like nothing's going to happen. It's okay. That's like you don't like the attitude. But I'm not going to worry about it. It's a certain, like Telchoimi Keri is a certain leitzonus of, everything's fine, so everything's fine, I'm not worried about it. But here he's talking about something much more serious, and he says that the whole derech to get to Yirav, to Ava, which he puts all into one thing, which is interesting, is hispoidnus begadlus habayre, by having this hispoidnus in the gadlus habriya, niflois habayre. So you will then feel that's not enough. It's not like, okay, I'm a scientist, how could I not love God? Even if you'll come to believe in God by being a great scientist, you're not going to come to love him. But the loving and the yira is when you feel tiny compared to the bria that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made. The bria as far as we can go. If you want to be a makubal, as he goes on, you can start talking about malachim and even hidden things that scientists will never see. Malachim and ishim and galgalim and for somebody who was supposedly a rationalist, the whole parak is all about malachim. But okay, the Nevi'im talk about malachim. But what he's saying is that there's the program is this. If we're going to go onto a program, the program is how do I get there? First of all, you need the science course, right? Second thing is it has to be so much so that I feel so tiny from it. I realize my tininess. It's a metzias. So that's step 2. And then when you realize how tiny I am, not insignificant, not unimportant, and not a good thing, but but in terms of pashut quantity, huh? Yeah, a piece of dust compared to the whole thing.
Quantity and quality.
Well, quality, maybe we're more chashuv than the moon.
Yeah, but he says compared to Chaldeus.
Compared to HaShem.
He says
yeah. Yeah. So there's a program here. Miyad. Then you immediately feel, that's how you get to feel that way. In other words, miyad, hu nirta la'achara v'yore v'yafached v'yodeya shehu bria ketana. Shefela, afela, oimed b'das kala ma'uta, lifnei tamim deyos. K'may she'amar David, ma enosh kisus gerenu. Ma enosh kisus gerenu. So it's exactly. I mean, it's actually chiddush mitchila b'atzayif, this Rambam. So, but l'inyanenu, what needs some attention is that he's putting both things into one. Ava and Yira, he's putting into one. Like, in other words, if I'll do this, I'll have Ava, I'll have Yira. He's not even showing a preference one for the other, or an order of events one for the other. Ava Yira.
What does Kitas Karana have to do with Ava Yira in the pasuk?
No, but he's saying that it's an action and a reaction. Because David HaMelech says, Ki ere shamecha, if I'm going to look, is Shemayim and Shmei Shemayim, and I'm going to, David HaMelech, he was a big man. So, but when I look around, I realize it's garnish.
That miyad, that you'll come to Ava and Yira.
That's the next words in the pasuk. Ma enosh kisus gerenu. I'll feel small. Oh, I don't know how you got to Yerushalayim. Yeah.
It could also be that Hashem does recognize us, therefore I have Ava that he does. That's too many steps. It's like gratitude. Realizing Hashem gives to me, then it's gratitude, and that leads to Ava.
It's beautiful, but it doesn't.
It's true, but it's not there.
It's out of here, right?
He's saying miyad. It's like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you got to put a whole piece in the middle there to sound.
it's just a mind.
And then Yira.
And then hero. First,
Zapella.
the Ava is the Koinus leads to the Ava, and then the Yad Yirkol HaChoiro. So that is the same point.
So this is counter. Not only counter, it's counter everything that I've ever learned. That Ava is higher than Yira. Because he says here, but anyways, what does this have to do with Ava? I could be, I just want to say one thing that's on my mind. Like, the word that's always used here for Yiras Haraimamus, like the word which we were taught, is awestruck, awe. Not fear like I'm scared, but like I'm in awe. So I don't like the word. I want to find a better word because, first of all, it's overused. Wow, that's awesome. Talking about ice cream. So I don't think like awe is good enough, but I think I think what the Rambam is describing something much deeper than awe. That there's a certain point. What is the word for someone who just realizes how big the world is and how small I am in this process? I don't know if it was a good feeling, but
word synonyms that's reverence.
reverence. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a wordsmith, but it feels like a form of intimidation. In other words, I'm just intimidated. And he talks about this, by the way, in the Moreh Nevuchim. I have the Moreh Nevuchim, a third place.
It's blown away. Blown away.
Yeah. Okay, but what does that mean? Well done.
Unbelievable.
Well done.
Somebody gives you the keys to the missile room. Take good care of these keys.
And the people in the missile are blown away. Huh? Brings here the Rambam Moreh Nevuchim. That's one last part of it, which is very, very familiar from the Ramah. But the whole thing is more important for us than the Ramah. The Moreh Nevuchim. It's in Moreh Nevuchim Chelek Gimel Perak Nun Beis. Ein yeshivas ha'adam u'tunoisa v'yisukav kishu levadoi bebeisoi ki yeshivasa u'tunoisa v'yisukav kishu melech lifnei melech gadol. Again, this is the word. If you're standing in front of a melech gadol, if you can imagine a melech gadol, so you're standing in front of a melech gadol. On the one hand, maybe I'm afraid of him if he's like not a nice person, and I say the wrong thing, off with his head. Maybe that's true also. That's Yiras Ha'inish. But there's a certain the whole way I act, the whole way I move, the whole way I talk. I might even be stammering because I'm standing in front of a melech gadol. I'm somehow intimidated. And it's not about, he might be a very kind person. It's not necessarily about like, oh, he's going to kill me, or maybe he could reward me. So I imagine like a Yosef stood in front of a paro. It was, you're standing. I mean, I don't know, if I'd be standing, also be in front of, Loisagur Bifneish, but if I'd be standing in front of a tribunal of Trump and Putin and whoever's the third guy, like third guy. So, I mean, there's a certain tongue-tiedness that we get, which is not described by being blown away or, wow, this is awesome. It's more than that. There's a certain...
It's closer to shock.
Yeah, there's a certain, I don't know, what's the word? That's what we're talking about, whatever that word is.
Humbling. It's humbling.
Yeah, for sure. But my whole Matthias changes.
The atheist in the foxhole.
Yeah.
All of a sudden something happens.
There's my Matthias is different.
He's in a different state of mind.
So it's hard to describe by saying I'm in awe. So says the Rambam further, V'loi dvarav v'chapsiyosav. When the Rambam says chapsiyosa, he means you won't talk out loud in the same way. V'loi dvarai v'chapsiyosav kishu ben anshe beis. You act differently when you're at home with your family. Kidvar b'Moshe v'Melech, like you will act when you're with the king. Lefichach, therefore, Misha hedifes hashleimus ha'anushis v'shiyah isha lekim be'emes. If you are one, like we all are, that's looking for shleimus, you want to become the greatest person, shleimus ha'anushis, you want to become the greatest person you could possibly become. That's what we're here. V'shiyah isha lekim, you want to be a man of God. Be'emes. So what do? Says the Rambam Mar Nevuchim, a little bit of a different knach. Yisoirer v'yeda ki hamelech hagadol ha'oifeif oisai aleph vav pei pei hamelech hagadol ha'ofeif oisai. What does oifeif mean? Hovers.
Half your phone?
No, it's an ayin. La'uf is to ayin. What is it? Aleph, like af. Lo zu, af zu. What is ha'oifeif oisai? You're ready to say, you have to know the Arabic. What's an afavon? Pickle?
Kite.
Huh?
Kite.
Oh, a kite. That's ayin.
Afafuni means to surround, doesn't it?
Yeah, where is it? In davening. In davening we say, afafuni, I'm surrounded by. And halal. Well, afafuni chevle maves. Umasari shal mitzauni.
Lefef is to wrap around.
Yeah, to wrap around.
The lefef. The lamed.
Okay. Anyways, ofeif is to the ofeif. The Rambam's lashon is ofeif is to be surrounded. So again, let's get back to the point. Lefichach. You want to be a true man of God. This is what you do. You inspired to know which is so closely attached to me. Tamid, and you should know that those have gone through this exercise, says the Rambam, of understanding how our relationship, what we are in relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, Masinus v'hanava, I will immediately become humble. So humbled is not what it is. I'm sorry to be such a stickler here, but humbled is not what it is what happens after you are this. Mina Masinus v'hanava v'yiras Hashem v'acharoda mipanav v'abusha mimenu yisbarach b'drachim amitim v'loy dimyonos. And every word. When you get to this point of realizing what I am, afafuni, hatzmada is like, cling wrap, samud. So husagalah min hamasinus, suddenly you will become patient, v'hanava, and humble. v'yiras Hashem, and you will come to yiras Hashem. V'acharada mifanav, you'll even become a charedi. V'habusha mimenu, and you'll be busha in front of him. V'drachim amitim, v'loy dimyonis, in real ways, not in dimyonis, which is so important for the Nefesh Hachaim. V'drachim amitim, v'loy b'dimyonis. Basha asa mistereya b'mlishaseya, it will affect everything. What a person does privately with his wife, says the Rambam. U'b'mer chatzos, im shar ha'adam, how you act in the merchatz. Everything will be affected by this understanding of Hashem, the godless. So Gedolei HaChachamim Hayusoldim Megilui Rosham. Listen to the example he gives. The greatest Chachamim that had this yira and this ava that he's describing, they were soldim, they were paralyzed if their yarmulke was off. Why? What was the yarmulke? Mipnei shashchina choifefes es ha'adam. Like I can't be here keilu, like with the yarmulke rise is shchina. This is, by the way, the best makor for the yarmulke. The Gemara says that the Tanaim loyholach taladamas b'li b'reisha galia, but here it's how you sold in Megillah Reishim. Shashchina choifefes es ha'adam. Another symptom is they talk less. You talk less when you're standing in front of the Melech. B'dibur l'matar zu.
Seldom is paralyzed?
Seldom is paralyzed, yeah. But, so, what is this Rambam over here? The Rambam brings like a tiny piece of it. That, like you should always act like you're, like Hashem, he sees you, he's there, get dressed properly. But here he's saying something, the part that he misses out is that the only way to come to Shleimus HaNushis and to Ava and to Yira is to realize that you're constantly surrounded by this thing which is much larger than us, and you have Ava and Yira. So let me say this, Nakuda, because I still haven't got clear what's Ava, what's Yira. In this case, Ava is bringing to Yira, which is a new chiddush, but there's something. You see that Yira, Moshe Rabbeinu says, I don't like the teretz that, at least that. I think he's saying that's the tachlis of everything is Yira, not Ava. And by the Akedah, Zato Yadati Ki Yirei Elokim Ata. Now I know Avraham Avinu, not like you're on your way, you've made it. You are a Yorei Elokim.
He was always known to be chesed, but now we know he's gevura also.
Gevura also. So let me tell you, may be helpful. The Kabbalistic terminology, which I'm using to make it easier, not harder. But in Kabbalistic terminology, you have a concept called hiskalalus. Hitkalalut, from the shorish of the word kollel. Kollel. Meaning, when we say, I think I asked before, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad v'Ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha b'chol nafshecha. Where's Yira? Where's Yira? Why are we stuck on Ava? But in the Birchos Kriya Shema, we say v'yachid levavenu li'ava u'liyira es shemecha. So, what does liyira shemecha have to do with Kriya Shema? So the trick here is, the Lashon of the Zohar, I might quote it to you on Thursday, that Ein Ava v'yira, I might be misquoting it or drop it, the idea is right, Ein Ava v'yira b'skalim b'shum makar ba'olam ela b'ha. There's no such, Ava is one thing and Yira is another thing. If you're afraid of your father, you're not loving your father. If you're loving him, you're not afraid of him. Ela b'ha, except for when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shu hiskalulus yachad. In front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's hiskalulus. Hiskalulus means that the Ava v'Yira somehow work together and combine kollel into one thing. And how does that come about? V'yache levavenu li'ava u'yira shemecha. So, and I'm bringing my Abiyached Levavenu. What is Levavenu? Is two hearts. So you thought about your Yetzer Hara and your Yetzer Tov. No. V'yached Levavenu li'ava u'liyira shebecha. There are two parts of me which are standing in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of them is saying Yira, the other one is saying Ahava. And these are two, let's understand what we mean. These are two completely different emotions. You know, I said before, I don't know what the right word for Yira is. I don't think it's awe. And I also don't know what the right word for Ahava is, if it's love in English. Not everything is necessarily translatable. But whatever it is, there's a midah of Ava, there's a midah of Yira, and we're davening to Hashem v'yachei levavenu la'ava Yira shemecha. And now we're going to do it. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. What are we doing? Yichud Shem Hashem. Yep.
What is it?
Hiskalulus. Shema Yisrael, listen to the words. Hashem, midas Ava. Elokeinu, midas Hadin. Hashem, midas HaChesed. Elokeinu, midas HaChesed. Shema Yisrael. Hashem, miyamini. Elokeinu, mismaili. Ahava, Yira, Shem Echad. Hiskalulus. That is, by the way, the concept of Hamtokas Hadinim. So the rabbis are always clapping their hands when they're davening. Hamtokas Hadinim. Please don't start doing that here. The Hamtokas Hadinim, because the Yamin is always the Yamin is Chesed, small is Gura.
Can I just add?
Yamin Hashem Oisechayil, Yamin Hashem Remeima.
The Rambam, what he's talking about is Yediyah, like to know, to see the world, know it. So maybe love comes through Yediyah.
Nachon.
Like you said, Adam Yada. That's how he loved his
Clearly. So the Nakuda of where the Rambam is so oimed, even at the first Rambam that there is in Yad HaChazaka, is mitzvah al adam leda.
That's the vehicle to get to Av.
Everything needs yediyah. This is where the Rambam got his reputation of being rationalist, but it's not fair, because what he's saying is that the first step is use your head. Meaning, if you don't use your head, if you're just using an emotion, you're not going to get to all this. So what he's not, but it's not rationalist in the way people, Amaratzim, say it over, that he's rationalist in the sense that if I don't see it, I don't believe it. It's for the whole parak is full of malachim and ishim and strafim and mapitom. Like the Rebbe was a big spiritualist. But what he's saying is, as you're saying, is that the step one is Yediyas Hashem, which is already in the Yud Gimel Ikrim, Beseder. But now we're talking about Yud Gimel Ikrim. I believe, Nimamin and Yediyas Hashem. I believe Ashkacha Pratas. I believe He created the world. I believe He gave us a Torah. I believe He's going to bring Mashiach, and I believe He's going to do Tchias HaMesim. Ali Mamin. So now what? Now you have to be religious. If you believe all those things. So now comes the spiritual move of V'yachid Levavenu, which everybody says. V'yachid Levavenu la'ava yirashmecha. Ava Rabba Avtanu, right? But now our chance. Ava Rabba Avtanu. That's how much you love us. But now Yachid Levavenu la'ahava yirashmecha before the lashon of the Anshe Knesset Agdola. Hence you have Shema Yisrael from this Yediyah, as you correctly point out. Without the Yediyah, I'm nothing. So once I have the idea, then I can move on to Hashem, Elokeinu, and Ava, and Yira, and Yichud Halev, which is called, as I say, convenient for us to know the Lashon. Whenever you want to refer to this without giving a whole speech, it's Hiskalulus. That's Hiskalulus. There's even Shem HaKollel.
That's not the Lashon of the Rambam.
No, that's the Lashon of the Zohar.
What's the connotation of Shema, Shmiya?
Yediyah. Rambam says Mefurish. The Rabbi Devuchim, where in Shar Hamilim, he says Mefurish, Shema Yisrael Tavin V'Teda Yisrael. Beautiful. It's what's this word? The first two words. We're touching up the second two words of the last two words. What are the first two words? Shema Yisrael. Nutztem kap.
That was also the Shamus Akolos, the Harsina. He said they had this idea 100% clear.
Where do you see V'shamos HaKolos?
The
Royim is HaKolos.
Rayim.
Royim is HaKolos. It's such an important yesod, but let's lose the lashon of the Rambam because it's going to go right back to Nefesh Hachaim, where he says all of this that we sort of understand a little bit. All of this, he says that for those that have done Vidal, let me just read this lashon more time. Ki kasher avinu ashleimim, when anoshim shleimim, tzaddikim, come to this point. This is after the Yud Gimel Midah, after the Yud Gimel Ikar, right? When they come to this point of Ava V'yira, who sagu lahem min amasinus, what they're overtaken with anova and yiras HaShem, v'acharada mipanav, v'habusha mimenu yisbarach. And this is the key words, I think, where the Nefesh Hachaim takes up. B'drachim amitim v'loy b'dimyonos. Mazot omeret. B'drachim, what do you say? Drachim amitim, v'loy b'dimyonos. You can imagine anything. You can imagine that you're a big saint, but b'drachim amitim v'loy b'dimyonos, the Rambam seems to be madgish that you're going with a real mahalach. You're going with a real derech of MS. Drachim amitim, not with dimyonos. It's not about your imagination. It's about your seichel taking you to a place where you. So what are you doing? Let's get this clear so we know how to do this. This is instructions. How do we do this? We're misboinein. You can do this over and over again in some aspect of niflois habayir. Maybe that's why we say asher yotzar first thing. That's like a real niflois habayir without having to be a physicist or an astronomer. Like, oh my gosh, I went to the bathroom. That was pretty amazing, right? So asher yotzar is adam with all the bechachma of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can't get better than that. And from there, I could come to Ava and to Yira. I was going to say something. It just occurs to me. Like, if you go in my mashal, I'm permitted to do this because Chazal always give a mashal lemelech. So I'm not comparing HaShem to the melech, but tachlis, if you do appear in front of like the king or the president or the head of the Russia, if you do appear. What's going on there? You're not just intimidated and it's changing your whole behavior because of who they are. Who are they? But it's really because what they can do. It's the niflois, the power, really. But it's not that I'm afraid. Like, this is very important. It's not that I'm afraid that they're going to use their power against me. Small madrega, but like that's for the cleaning lady. Oh no, you can fire me. But the real thing is, like, such powerful people. It's striking how powerful they are, and that's what changes my behavior. But ultimately, you need that power behind it. That's what I'm saying. So there has to be first. What I'm trying to say is, first there's the idea there somewhere. A total Amaretz comes in from the field, doesn't know who they are. He's not going to feel this way. So first you have to have the idea. Do you know who you're talking to? I was just telling somebody yesterday that I was interviewed by somebody once on the radio, so I got a call in advance to prepare me for the call. So the call went like this: just want to tell you, he's a very, very wealthy man. Okay, lucky him. I mean, he's also a shtickle Talmud Chacham, So I said, what do you want me to? No, I literally was not hopping because I'm like the Amaretz who comes from the field. So what if he's wealthy? So what if he's? I mean, if you're interviewing me, so I'll answer the questions. Lefi Habanasi, what's the? But the kavana sadvarim was to intimidate. If you have the proper ideas, you will talk properly. So I told him I hopped it, and I said to him, I think I'm backing out. It's not for me. If you want me to say what you want me to say, it's not for me. I don't mind. No. You know, and in fact, they got upset with me. But my point is, you need the idea before you could get to the Ava and the Yira. And when the mixture back and forth of Ava and Yira has to do with the Hiskalulus, because it's really Hanuach. Sometimes you see Ava above Yira, Yira's Haraimamus, the Yira that we're describing. Sometimes you see Ava as a way to get to Yira's Haraimamus, and sometimes you see Yira above Ava. We see it both ways in the Rambam, and a Hapirish Pashut, because there's no difference between them. There's no difference between Ava and Yira, Beseder Eina Seder Ma'akiv.
You say Reishis Chochma Yiras
Chachma, Yiras Hashem.
What's the role of Dimyonis here?
So what is this? So let's leave it with that, because then we're finally going to learn the last parak. I think the Dimyonis he's going on. In other words, I recognize there's a Kadosh Baruch Hu. This is not a question. Now the question is, where do I go with this? Where do I go with it? So I can try to feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, get involved with Ava and Yira. I can try to get involved. My point is to get to Ava and Yira. And again, let me say one more time that the Gemara says, V'chi Yira milsa zutrasihi. Is that a small thing that Moshe Rabbeinu is saying? So the Gemara says, in. Yes, it's a small thing for Moshe. Mm-hmm. So, meaning, so why is Moshe Rabbeinu saying this? That if it's only a small thing for him, you know, he was saying the emes that once I talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu Pe'al Peh, and once I know the Niflois HaBayr, and I see the Nevuah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I see the Nitzchias of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe Rabbeinu saw this all. He was on Har Sinai. Once he saw it all, so Yiras HaRaimim, where that should get him, where that Yediyah should get him, was a Milsa Zutrasi. It was a small jump. But if I skip I think this is what it means. If I skip the step of Das, like Moshe Rabbeinu had Das, if I skip the step of Das, or I skip the Parak Rishon in the Rambam, then I'm working with Dimyonis. I'm imagining that I'm close to HaShem. I'm singing a niggin. I'm close to HaShem. Whatever I'm doing, that could all be nice, but it could be also that if it's not coming from Yediyah, you see, this is a hard thing for me because I don't really live my life this way. But you know, in other words, you know, like I just like intellectually sing a niggin. It's like it gets on my nerves. You know, he's like a niggin. But the whole, if it doesn't start from seichel and dalif ne'miyat oimed, then you're in a world of demyonis and you're not in a world of reality. But if you go to it from a world of reality, then says the Rambam, you're in the world of shleimim and tzaddikim and chachamim. That's the world that you're into. You go to Yiras Hashem, you get to Ahavas Hashem, but you're getting there through clear Yediyah, not as like an oicher that comes from the Sada, as he says, in a different place. And hence, I think, comes the Nefesh Hachaim. Okay, thank you.